Welcome to Ground Control, the podcast that drills into the critical safety procedures keeping mining operations safe. I'm Alex. Today, we're ascending to one of the most unforgiving hazard zones, working at height. A misstep here isn't just a stumble, it's a potential catastrophe. We're unpacking the comprehensive working at heights procedure from PBM mining in Laos. This isn't just about clipping on a harness. It's about a systematic defense against gravity. Let's climb into it. At PBM mining, the rule is clear. If you can fall 1.8 meters or even get within 2 meters of an edge where you could fall that far, this procedure is your Bible. But it goes further. If you're above a conveyor, a chemical sump, or any hazard, the rules apply at any height. It's all about consequence. The foundation of their system is a simple but powerful hierarchy. First, eliminate. Can the job be done from the ground? If not, use passive protection, grail rails, solid platforms. If you still need to move near an edge, use fall restraint, a system that physically stops you from getting to the hazard. Only as an absolute last resort do you use fall arrest, the equipment that catches you mid-fall. The goal is to prevent the fall, not survive it. And you don't just decide to do this work. For almost any high-risk height work, you need a working at heights permit. This permit forces the team to pause and plan. It's a checkpoint that ensures all the right controls are in place before anyone leaves the ground. Now, let's talk about the human element. PBM mandates a 2-person minimum for any job using fall protection. One works, the other spots. This spotter isn't just watching, they're the first link in the rescue chain. Which brings us to a non-negotiable rule. No job starts without a rescue plan. What happens if someone is suspended in their harness? You can't just call for help and wait. Suspension trauma can be fatal in minutes. The plan might be as simple as having a ladder nearby, or as complex as a dedicated rescue team on standby, but it must be known, practiced, and ready. The procedure dives deep into gear, and for good reason. A misunderstanding here is deadly. They distinguish sharply between fall restraint and fall arrest. Restraint uses a short lanyard to keep you from reaching the edge. Arrest uses a shock-absorbing lanyard to stop a fall. Using the wrong one or connecting it wrong can fail or cause injury. One of the most critical steps before work is the fall distance calculation. It's simple math with life or death results. You add a length of your lanyard, the deployment length of the shock absorber, your height, and a 1-meter safety margin. That total must be less than the distance from your anchor point to the ground or the next solid structure below you. If the math doesn't work, you hit the ground before the system stops you. The solution? Reposition the anchor point higher, use a shorter lanyard, or use a different system like an inertia reel. The rules are equally precise for different work methods. Scaffolding must be complete, tagged, and inspected. No working from incomplete frames. Ladders are for access, not a work platform. Follow the 1-to-4 angle rule. Maintain 3 points of contact and never stand on the top 2 rungs. In an EWP or man box, you must be anchored inside the basket. The operator stays at the controls, and below you, an exclusion zone is barricaded with hard barriers, not just tape, to protect others from falling objects. Finally, the system is self-sustaining. Equipment has a 10-year life, after which it's destroyed. It's inspected before and after every use. Any gear that takes a fall load is immediately retired. Purchasing, maintenance, and modifications all follow strict, documented pathways to ensure integrity is never compromised. What PBM's procedure ultimately builds is a culture of mandatory deliberation. It removes assumption from the equation. The permit, the 2-person rule, the calculated fall distance, the prearranged rescue, each step is a deliberate checkpoint against complacency. It acknowledges that working at height is inherently hazardous, but it insists that falls are not inevitable. They are preventable through rigorous, disciplined procedure. Thanks for listening to Ground Control. For links to learn more about fall protection standards, visit our show notes. Remember, safety isn't just a personal responsibility, it's a procedural one. Until next time, keep your feet on the ground or your system flawlessly anchored.